There's not really much that needs to be said about Cyrus Albright. If you've been in the community for long enough, you've probably heard by now that he's an extremely strong unit that many people have been waiting to add to their roster basically since the game launched. On top of that, Cyrus has the nostalgia factor due to being one of the playable characters from the original Octopath Traveler on the Switch. Cyrus is able to make use of multiple different elements at the same time, making him a very powerful general use unit, and in COTC, effectively allows him to act as one of 3 different units at once, which makes him an extremely valuable addition to any roster. Cyrus's voice is provided by Yuichiro Umehara. I'm not as familiar with male VA's work as much, so I was very surprised to learn of some of his other roles, such as Goblin Slayer from the anime of the same name, Seiya from Cautious Hero, and Weather Report from JoJo's Part 6. Of course, with the JP dub, you unfortunately don't get to hear Cyrus yell his iconic "My focus is unparalleled," but I'm sure you guys have had enough of that by now, right? Stat-wise, Cyrus's magic is the highest we've seen in the game so far, at a maximum of 454, and the next highest in the game being Primrose at 442. However, Cyrus's high magic also comes with the added bonus of his elemental damage up passive, allowing him to deal noticeably higher damage than Primrose despite the similar stat numbers. Additionally, his max SP is extremely high, which suits his extremely expensive kit. His HP and speed do suffer a bit to balance him out, being noticeably lower than every other member of his class. Kit-wise, Cyrus is a very simple and straightforward unit. The most important skills in his kit are his elemental spells, of which he has the same 2 skills across all 3 of his elements that he has access to. But first, let's start with his passives. At 1 star, he gets Study Foe, a fantastic quality of life passive ability that he could use to great effect in the original Octopath, and in COTC was also previously seen on Paradeer, the 4-star scholar. This reveals 1 weakness of all foes every time you enter a battle, an excellent skill for general play that can reveal enemy weaknesses as you run through a new area for the first time. This doesn't have any direct use in combat, but Cyrus's second passive more than makes up for that. At 3 star, Cyrus's second passive gives him 20% fire, ice, and lightning damage up, significantly boosting all of his elemental damage and effectively acting as 3 passives at once. When bringing him to specific content where you know which element you're going to want him to be using, equip a 10% rune to cap out at 30%. The first 3 skills that he can unlock are 1-hit 230 power nukes, while the 3 that he unlocks later are 3-hit AoEs. With the Ice and Lightning 3-hit AoEs being locked behind 5 star, Cyrus is an extremely high priority unit to use your Scholar Gold Seal on if you have one lying around, as giving him those extra options is vital to using him to his max potential. These 3-hit AoE spells are also very costly, at 70 SP per use, and as a result you should definitely put Cyrus on your hunt team to get him to level 100 as soon as you reasonably can. Doing so will reduce the SP cost on his AoEs to 56, which is much more reasonable. The offensive skills you bring on Cyrus depend on what content you're going to be tackling. If you're just doing general content and running around the map, I recommend bringing all 3 of his 3-hit AoEs to quickly dispatch random encounters. When fighting a boss with a known elemental weakness, I will bring both skills of that single element. However, there may be fights where you're up against multiple enemies and will want to bring a second element as well. Outside of the elemental spells, Cyrus does have a 2-hit Tome single target. Given his extremely low physical attack on top of Tome's generally low attack stats, as well as the high value of the elemental spells on his kit, I pretty much never bring this skill, but it's good to have just in case. For utilities, Cyrus has a skill to reveal more weaknesses from a single enemy, as well as a self magic up buff for 3 to 6 turns. I sometimes like to bring the self buff along to use to cap with another buffer such as Lynette, especially if I'm fighting against an enemy with a specific single known weakness and I only need to bring 2 elemental spells and have a 3rd slot open. With ultimate skills confirmed to be coming up at the half anniversary, I figure it's a good time to start talking about them in these overviews. Cyrus's ultimate inflicts 3 hits, 1 of each of the 3 elements he has access to. This is a pretty weak ultimate compared to other characters' nuke ultimates, as it's uncommon to fight an enemy that's weak to 2 of the 3 elements and almost unheard of that you'll face an enemy that's weak to all 3. As such, most of the time only 1 of the 3 hits will actually do a reasonable chunk of damage. Nuke ultimates in general are not worth prioritizing using an Awakening Stone to go to ultimate level 10, and Cyrus's is no different. Prioritize his Awakening levels instead if you get any dupes. Due to Cyrus being a raw damage dealer and not having any debuff utility, he combos extremely well with other characters that can debuff and support his damage. Sophia is an excellent example for ice teams, where she can apply 30% ice defense down to maximize both her own damage as well as Cyrus's. Other examples that use characters who aren't currently out in English are fire compositions such as Cyrus, Mulu, Lynette, or lightning compositions such as Cyrus, Therese, Titi. Basically, Cyrus is a unit that can already do pretty ridiculous damage as a baseline, and it's up to his allies to unlock his full potential. And with that, we've come to the end of the Cyrus overview. Thanks again to all you guys for your patience as I've been away focusing on Weiss Schwarz for the last couple weeks, and I'll be looking to get back on track moving forward. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and until next time, this has been Cheesy Cats. See ya!